Download our app, Diamond FM, on Google Play Store or Apple Store.
For the best of national, local, international news and sport, tune in to News Punch and Diamond 88.7 FM. News Punch, all about the news.
It's 2 minutes gone past 9 a.m. Good morning and thank you for joining us on today's edition of News Punch on Diamond 88.7 FM in London, where we bring you the trending stories across the globe. My name is Mekamua, Osigbodi, and here are the stories making waves across the world. In Nigeria, the Lagos state government has said the cause of the collapse of a 7-story building on Banana Island in the Ikoyi area of the state is yet to be determined. This was after 5 days of excavation at the site of the incident, which left many injured and one dead. The State Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Gbenga Omotosho, disclosed this in a statement. Omotosho noted that the excavation has reached about 90% at the site of the collapsed building. Still in Nigeria, the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board JAMB has extended the closing date for the 2023 direct entry registration by 1 week starting from Friday, April 21. In a statement, JAMB spokesman Dr. Fabian Benjamin said that the DE registration exercise commenced on Monday, March 20 and due to end on Thursday, April 28. Benjamin said the extension was partly to give all holders of Cambridge A-level certificates who were unable to register for the exercise on account of some issues associated with the verification of their certificates another opportunity to do so. He said it would as well accommodate others who wished to register but were unable to do so within the stipulated time. And on the foreign scene, fighting between the army and paramilitaries in Sudan has killed around 200 people and wounded 1,800, damaging hospitals and hampering aid on Monday after 3 days of urban warfare. A weeks-long power struggle exploded into deadly violence on Saturday between the forces of two generals who seized power in a 2021 coup. Sudan's Army Chief Abdel Fattah al-Burhan and his deputy, Mohamed Hamdan Daglo, who commands the paramilitary Rapid Support Forces. Analysts say the fighting in the capital of the chronically unstable country is unprecedented and could be prolonged despite regional and global calls for a ceasefire as diplomats mobilize. In the exciting world of sport, Liverpool crushed Leeds 6-1 as Cody Gakpo's controversial opener provided the spark for the Reds' first win in 5 Premier League games on Monday. Jurgen Klopp's side took the lead at Elland Road when Gakpo's goal was allowed to stand despite the ball striking Trent Alexander-Arnold's arm in the build-up. It was reported the VAR official did not check the incident because it happened too far back in the move, but Leeds were furious at the perceived injustice. Mohamed Salah rubbed salt into Leeds' wound when he increased Liverpool's lead 4 minutes later before Luis Sinisterra got one back for the struggling host. Diogo Jota's double, another Salah strike, and Darwin Núñez's late effort ensured Liverpool ended their 5-game winless run in all competitions. That's all we have for you on this edition of News Punch. Up next is the Diamond Breakfast Show, where we bring you analysis of some of the major stories from the week. Stay tuned.
The major talking points in Nigeria are always on the lips of the citizens.
What's going on in this country? Look at smaller countries taking lead, and you call yourself giant of Africa. Yeah.
Nigeria don't spoil my business too much. Nigeria is too hard for us. I mean, I want to kill us. Father, not kill us for Nigeria. Oh, please, help us beg them.
They should reduce their expenditure so that they can free enough money for social development.
I wish for a Nigeria where we elect a leader based on competency and not popularity.
On the Diamond Breakfast Show, we place the spotlight on the critical issues in the country.
Government that says they are broke can prioritize construction of an additional runway over education of the people.
How can you hold in domain? This is intolerable. It's provocative.
Now, you see, when you look at our democratic journey, we are yet to practice genuine democratic system in Nigeria.
Join us on Mondays to Friday on the DBS from 9 to 10 a.m. The Diamond Breakfast Show, amplifying the voice of the people.
From the studios of Diamond 88.7 FM in Lorry, this is the Diamond Breakfast Show.
It's 6 minutes after 9. Good morning and welcome to the Diamond Breakfast Show on your shining supreme station, Diamond 88.7 FM. This is the show where we bring you analysis of some of the major stories from the week, and we will be analyzing some of the major stories, talking points in the news today. Of course, I can't do this alone. To do this with me this morning is Barrister BC Adedayo, a legal practitioner, veteran journalist, and public affairs analyst. Good morning, sir. It's great to have you in the studio.
Good morning, and good morning, listeners at home.
Oh, fantastic. My first question is constant. How are you doing, sir?
Very well.
All right, fantastic.
Very well, yes.
Well, as we dive into the discourse for today, bear in mind that we're live on Facebook and YouTube. On YouTube is Diamond FM Ilorin, and on Facebook is Diamond 887 FM. Be sure to be a part of the conversation. All you need to do is drop a comment in the comment section. You could also share the live feeds across all social media platforms. Tweet at us and make a post. Just use the hashtag The Diamond Breakfast Show. You could also send a message via WhatsApp or SMS to the number 0913 655 6864. Once again, the number is 0913 655 6864. Well, let's get into the conversation for today. Now, more developments continue to trail the historic Adama supplementary polls that was held on Saturday, April 15, 2023. And after the resident electoral commissioners unethically announced Aisha Dahiru, popularly known as Binani, there have been several reactions about the judgment since then. Now, protests were made yesterday by supporters of the PDP in the state who demanded for justice, fairness, and the conclusion of the whole process, which expect to favor their candidate and the incumbent governor of the state, Amadu Umaru Fintiri. Now, the Oyo State Governor, Rotimi Makinde, as well made a stop in Adamawa yesterday to task the electoral body to announce the winner, who he said was obviously Amadu Umaru Fintiri. Now, let's listen to Makinde make that claim.
Came to show solidarity with my brother, the governor of Adamawa State. When we heard of all the things going on with the election here, we thought, well, it's best, for me to come here personally, deliver a message of hope to him that he shouldn't worry at all. We know that INEC has enough people of conscience to do what is right for Adamawa State and by extension for our democracy in Nigeria. And I also wish to encourage the people of Adamawa State. They've spoken and they spoke very loud, and they should be rest assured that the whole world is watching, and they should just be calm. Things will be resolved, and what their decision will be respected. It's a shame, really, that somebody of that caliber will, do something like that. But again, we have stories to tell. And we, with time, as we evolve, the process of getting people who will do certain things for us will be a little more rigorous, and people like the current REC will have no place in our future democratic process.
Yeah, that was the voice of the Oyo State Governor, Seyi Makinde. In another development, however, Binani is also taking legal actions on the whole matter. Senator Binani sought an order of prohibition and certiorari preventing INEC and its agents from taking any further steps towards the declaration of the winner of the elections, pending the determination of her application for judicial review. In the grounds under which the application is brought, the senator stated that after the collation of results, INEC, which she sued as the first respondent, declared her as the winner of the elections, but the People Democratic Party, PDP, and its candidate, Governor Amadu Fintiri, who was sued as the second and third respondents, resorted to fighting and causing public disturbance, which led to the beating and manhandling of an INEC staff. The crisis, she says, led INEC to cancel the initial declaration, which it had no power to do, as only the Election Petition Tribunal is vested with such power. By cancelling her declaration, Senator Binani contends that INEC usurped the powers of the Election Petition Tribunal, which is the only court vested with powers on a declaration from the conduct of an election. The PDP has not responded to this, but will surely do so. Now, just before we get into in-depth analysis of this, what are your thoughts on the ongoing drama in Adamawa State?
It's quite unfortunate that after the supplementary elections, all we are witnessing now in Adamawa State is a chaotic situation. Because, of course, in the first instance, if an election was inconclusive and consequent upon which a supplementary election is organized for April 15, it is unexpected of INEC, headed by the suspended Undu, to have gone ahead and declare the winner of that election, when in actual fact, from what we gather from that state, the election has not even been concluded yet, because they are still expecting results from other constituencies, from other polling units. And again, Udu, the suspended rec commissioner in Adamawa State, gave room for suspicion. Why do I say that? From the State Collation Center, you bar the press men from covering, you ban the observers as well as other stakeholders in that state from witnessing what is being done. So, of course, it has already given suspicion. And in fact, even to my mind too, I feel it is the state returning officer that are supposed to even declare the result, I mean, of the person who won that election. So all what INEC has done, as exemplified by the former rec suspended, don't let me use former, suspended rec commissioner, is out of place and it is not expected. You see, there's an English adage that what is worth doing at all is worth doing well. If INEC told the people that, oh, we were unable to conclude election in this state, and as a result, we are fixing another date for supplementary election, it is unexpected for things to have turned out the way it did. And for Binani, who said, of course, the INEC doesn't have power to annul the result, haven't been declared as the governor-elect. To some extent, of course, it's his right, because it is Election Petition Tribunal that has that power, that is given that power to say, oh, this is the person that has lawful votes that is supposed to be declared as the governor. However,
now, just before you continue,
okay,
I like the trajectory of this conversation. Now, Binani is fighting what she tagged as injustice to her people's mandate. But is that the next step, considering the fact that a winner has not been announced officially yet?
That is exactly what I'm trying to explain. A winner has not eventually, because what Undu announced was not acceptable by the other stakeholder, the PDP and other parties there. Therefore, Binani is like Binani is putting cart before the ox. We shouldn't be. She should have waited for the final announcement of that result before she will go to court to challenge anything being done by NEC. But as it is, don't forget, this is Nigeria. anything goes in Nigeria. I used to say it. What we are seeing in Adamawa, to my mind, is more or less a replica of what happened in Ekiti State and Osun State before the last election that ushered in the incumbent governors there. Elections were inconclusive in the two states, and as such, supplementary elections came up, and in between, before that supplementary election, people in that state were of the view that a particular party was winning.
Right.
At the end of the day, the other party was declared as the winner of that election. So INEC should try as much as possible not to put the polity in chaos, in crisis, because they are the unbiased umpires, and they should do things according to the dictates of what the law says in Nigeria. Doing anything contrary will of course breed violence, and that will not pay anybody. So
now, the decision of Binani to go to court already, even before we get the final judgment from the electoral umpire, INEC, do we say that this is Binani conceding to defeat?
Well, we may not, because to her, she felt that she has won that election, even though the final result has not been declared. So we may say that perhaps she smelled rats, that some other things may have been done to jeopardize her own interest in that election, which of course to her, she's the winner of that election. That is in her own view. However, in PDP's view, because even from the results relay so far, we gather that PDP was leading. That is Ahmad Fintri, the incumbent governor of that state. So how come that suddenly the person who is the second runner will now becomes the winner of that election, as announced by the suspended rec commissioner in that state? So by and large, Binani may be suffering from what we may term as a defeatist attitude, so to speak. But she should have waited until the final result is declared. So if she has anything at all, if she feels that there are rigging or whatsoever, of course she can brief her lawyer, and her lawyer will file petition before the governorship election petition.
Right.
Tribunal in that state.
Now, speaking of the rec, he has put the commission in a serious mess.
Yes.
What does this represent in the public space for INEC and for us as a nation?
Okay. You see, what it represents is that it has given INEC a bad image, no doubt about that. And you see, that's why I keep on advocating that the appointments of resident electoral commissioners as well as national commissioners of INEC should not be left to the ruling party to nominate, because we know this is Nigeria, unlike advanced democracy. Once people are nominated from the ruling party, definitely they have to protect the interests of that party that nominated them. So to me, I feel that such a appointment should be done by National Judicial Council. They should, in fact, of course, the appointment of judges and what have you are done by this. But these people, the council I am talking about is seen as a non-biased empire. So they should be left with the nomination, because for as long as we continue to ask the ruling government, the ruling party, to nominate people for all these statutory agencies, there's no way we will not have this kind of problem. Because he that pays the piper definitely will dictate the tunes, whether we like it or not, whether we believe it or not. So that is why, in fact, presently, INEC in public glare as well as international, before the international community, has performed below expectation, and people are disappointed. In fact, including myself, I'm very disappointed in INEC for what they have done in the case of the Adamawa supplementary election, because that is not expected. I mean, they have ample time to prepare very well. If they suspect that the suspended electoral commissioner will be biased. Of course, they have the right to replace him with another person, or even if they didn't replace him, then they can bring other resident electoral commissioner as well as national INEC commissioner to supervise that election. Perhaps if they have done that, we will not be in this particular mess we are before the international community.
Right. Now, just before we go deeply into more of this drama, an INEC National Commissioner, Mustafa Aleki, opined that this mistake will be a difficult one to correct. What reaction would the later announcement have to the people, the parties, and Nigeria?
I don't personally. I don't feel it should be something that will be difficult to review, because the figures are there. The people voted for Party A, Party B. The ballot papers have not been destroyed, so they should be courageous enough to announce the person who wins that election without fear or favor. So I don't see any reason why the national commissioner will be saying such a statement, because already their image has been dented before everybody, including the international community. So what they are expected to do is to right the wrong. If PDP, Fintri, the governor of that state, has won that election, let the INEC go ahead and announce him as the winner. If it is otherwise, then they should be bold enough to do the same thing. So why exercising or putting people or putting the populace in such a suspended action? I mean, people didn't know what is going to happen next. And if the right thing is not done, that may snowball into a very bigger crisis that will be difficult for even the government to curtail.
Now, speaking of crisis, people protested yesterday.
Yes, they did.
And we expect more to follow in the coming days.
Yes.
We knew how protests were boycotted in the past. Is it early to declare a state of emergency in Adamawa?
No, definitely no. It is not early to declare state of emergency, because in declaring state of emergency, all the things that supposed to be happening is not happening yet. The protest that was held yesterday, we have had more than that in other states, yet state of emergency were not declared. So if a state of emergency is declared in Adamawa state, it will aggravate the violence there. It will aggravate the crisis there, because the people of that state, and in fact the ruling party, whether they like it or not, they will be blamed for declaring such a state of emergency, that it is because they feel it is their party that is supposed to win that election in that state. So declaring any state of emergency now the time is not right for that. What is happening, it doesn't really call, is unwarranted for federal government to declare state of emergency, because even the crisis in some of the states in the east was more than that, yet a state of emergency was not declared, and ditto for other states too. So I don't see any basis for declaration of a state of emergency in Adamawa state based on what is happening there politically presently.
What advice would you give to INEC? Delay the collation of results or start immediately? Now, the noises are definitely no doubt, but what should the commission do at this point?
Well, the commissioner had made a very grievous mistake, and the best bet to redeem their image is to come out boldly, courageously, and declare that the result of that election without further delay at all, because further delay will continue to aggravate things politically in that state, and the body politic in that state will continue to be charged and be more charged. So the best bet for INEC is not to delay any further announcement again. I mean, go ahead and declare the person who has won that election. Anybody who has any case, let them file their petition before the election petition tribunal in that state. Because you see, INEC, from what they have promised Nigerians before in the build-up to this 2023 election, what we are seeing is contrary to what they have promised us. Yes, in the past, we had had cases where elections were massively rigged. But with the introduction of this modern technology, we have the BFAS. There shouldn't be any room for anybody to suspect anything or for any of INEC officers to compromise the standard. So INEC should not delay any longer if it doesn't want to put that state in flames.
Fantastic. Now, away from Adamawa, let's look at INEC in the wider scope, Nigeria. Now, over time, it seems to be that this word, like you said, grievous mistake, keeps happening. Promises are not being fulfilled from the electoral umpire. Wherein lies the problem?
First and foremost, the problem lies in the personnel recruited. And that was why I said earlier that, look, this INEC is a specialized agency that is saddled with the responsibility of conducting election, among other things. Anybody who will serve in that body, especially at the higher cadre, should not be appointed by the politicians. I keep on emphasizing that. And the reason why I'm emphasizing that, the reason is not far-fetched. This is Nigeria. And Nigeria, as we know ourselves, we know many of us who have opportunity to be appointed into various positions of that magnitude. Instead of doing the right thing, instead of following what the law says to the letter, in fact, they are ready to compromise for as long as their palms are being greased. And that is the major problem. In as much as the result of any electoral process is skewed, is such that is not acceptable to the populace, problem will spring up. By now, we ought to have gotten this thing right. In fact, we should not be talking of any compromise or any rigging of election or anything with the introduction of high tech as far as BIFA is concerned. But what do we see? Is it the technology that will, operate itself? No, it is human being that will operate them. And it is what you input that will bring out the output. The output that will be out will be based on what is being input there. So Nigerians, we honestly, we need to reorientate ourselves, especially for those people that are in position of authorities, because if that is not done, it's like we are moving, instead of us moving 100 steps forward, we are moving 1,000 steps backward. And that would not speak well of us before the international. In fact, the international community will see us as people that are not serious. Nigeria is, as an independent sovereign state, is more than 60 years. Yet we are still crawling. We shouldn't be.
Right.
We shouldn't be.
All right. Thank you so much, Barrister BC Adedayo. Just in case you just joined us, this is the Diamond Breakfast Show on your shining Supreme station. We're going to quick time out right now. When we get back, we'll dive into more conversations about the ongoings in Nigeria. And of course, you could be a part of this conversation. All you need to do is drop a comment in the comment section live on Facebook, Diamond 887 FM, and on YouTube is Diamond FM. Ilorin, stay with us.
Diamond FM, your one-step dial.
Ara ríro kò sí mọ́, àwọn ká ti sá lọ, àrùnmọ́lẹ́gùn ẹ̀yìn dídùn làkúrẹ́ ìgbé, wọ́n ti lọ wá bí wọ́n sí. kára ó lè pé bàmù rẹ̀ àtòrà dáadáa.
kókó lára ọ̀tá le. gbéra ńlẹ̀ kó dìde. kára ó lè pè ń ban. àtòrà wọ̀ àtòrà pẹ̀sẹ̀ àtòrà dáadáa. kegun tó kegun náà. kára ó yá gágá. ara ń ronú tẹ́lẹ̀ kò ronú mọ́. tẹ̀bá ti fi kára ó lè pè ń ban ra. lẹ́sẹ̀kẹsẹ̀ ló ń ṣiṣẹ́ wọnú igun. tó sì ń ṣe àtúntò rẹ̀. òṣùbù yẹ̀kẹ́ fa párọ̀ tàbí fi ẹsẹ̀ dá. fi kára ó lè pè ń ban bọ̀. káì ara rẹ̀ ó lè padà yakinlala. action action. ó jẹ́ àwọ̀ká àròmọ̀léegun. làkú ègbé ara ríro tàbí ẹ̀yìn dídùn. kára ó lè pè ń ban lọ́kọ̀ gbogbo wọn. agbára pọ̀ kára ó lè pè ń ban. tuyi pharmaceutical industries limited. àwọn tó lórúkọ tó ṣe é gbẹ́kẹ̀lé níbi ká po oògùn òyìnbó ló ṣe é. kára ó lè pè ń ban. ẹ̀rọ ṣẹ̀ṣẹ̀ pín ìrèpàtú òpèrè ta pàtà pọ́npọ́n. kára ó lè pè ń ban. ó kì í síbẹ̀.
kára ó lè pé bàmù rẹ̀ àtòrà dáadáa.
Oriflame Cynthia. That's me. Oriflame Cynthia. I thought you jackpot. Me? Unless you meant jackpot to go and place my 100 BP Oriflame order for this month. Abi, who no one grab brand new ride? Brand new ride? Yes! The Oriflame Grab Your Ride promo is here. And this is great news for everyone. Join Oriflame and buy products worth at least 100 BP monthly for 3 months from April 1st to June 30th. Then you stand the chance to win a brand new Hyundai Creta SUV. Oh, and that's not all. There's a whopping 100 million naira worth of major and guaranteed prizes to be won. In case you were wondering, 100 BP is simply 35,000 naira and you can buy to use or sell at good profits. So, join Oriflame today to participate. Draw date is July 8, 2023. The more you buy, the more raffle tickets you get and the more prizes you win. Wait for me. Let's jackpot to Oriflame together. See Oriflame Instagram and the website for details. Terms and conditions apply. This promo is approved by all promo regulatory authorities.
For further information, call or WhatsApp these numbers 080-3267-0801, 080-3267-0801, or 090-3950-8206.
Oriflame, changing lives.
The federal government, through the National Primary Healthcare Development Agency, announces the availability of COVID-19 and childhood vaccines nationwide. With the disturbing increase in reported cases of COVID-19 infections across Nigeria, protect yourself and loved ones from the harmful virus by getting vaccinated. Visit the nearest public or private health facility and mass vaccination sites today to receive the first, second, or booster doses of COVID-19 vaccines. COVID-19 vaccines are given to persons 18 years and above, including pregnant women and breastfeeding mothers, while childhood vaccines are given to children from birth to 5 years for protection against polio, hepatitis, yellow fever, measles, meningitis, and other vaccine-preventable diseases. All vaccines are free, safe, and effective. For inquiries, visit www.nphcda.gov.ng or call 0700 220 1122.
This message is brought to you by the National Primary Health Development Agency in collaboration with the Nigeria Red Cross Society with support from...
Follow us on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Diamond887FM. Diamond FM, shining supreme.
The Diamond Breakfast Show on your shining supreme station. My name is Mekamua. Osigbodi, friends call me Mecca. And I'm joined in the studio by Barrister BC Adedayo, a legal practitioner, veteran journalist, and public affairs analyst. Great to have you in the studio, sir, one more time.
Thank you very much.
All right. Remember that you also could be a part of this conversation. All you need to do is drop a comment on the comment section on Facebook or YouTube. On YouTube is Diamond FM Ilorin. On Facebook is Diamond 887 FM. You could also WhatsApp us or send a text to the number 0913-655-6864. 0913-655-6864. It's only appropriate that at this time we get some reactions about the first topic, the ongoings in Adamawa and INEC. 0913-655-6952 or 080-00-887-887. Hello, good morning.
Hello, welcome.
Good morning. Name and location.
Good morning. Mr. Davis calling from Shao.
Sorry?
Mr. Davis.
Mr. Davis. Good morning. Go on.
I'm calling from Shao.
Good morning. Go on.
Yes, I do the encyclopedia in the house. He has said a lot of things. But one thing I want to contribute is that the legal team of Benani, they have done a lot of harm more than good. Because they should have let her know that it is not the responsibility of the Special Electoral Commissioner to announce the outcome of the election for the returning officer. But because the woman is suffering from what I call guilty conscience, that is why she decided to go to court. She should have allowed INEC, the overall INEC leadership, to determine what happened before she embarked on legal action. But I know that some people will still disagree with people like us and say that it is the court, it is the court. But you have to go to court when it is right. But now, it is not right for us to go to court. But I believe that God is in control and justice shall prevail.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Davies, for your contribution. 0913-655-6952 or 080-00-887-887. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning. How are you?
Very well. Good morning. Name and location.
My name is Victor. I'm calling from Ilorin, in Kwara State.
All right. Good morning, Mr. Victor. Go on.
Yeah, the issue that is being discussed presents a bit of a curious one to Nigerian electoral system because there is something deeper than what we are discussing or what we are seeing that is actually happening in Adamawa State. Adamawa State happens to be the state from which Alhaji Atiku Abubakar comes from. And I think Atiku factor is playing a role in all these things we are seeing. Ordinarily, it should not be difficult for an incumbent governor with all the apparatus of states to win fair and square a challenger that is even a woman in that state. So it's either of two things. It's either the incumbent governor has woefully performed. They should not even be breaking the tape together and they are looking at the picture to see which millisecond Fintiri is using to beat Binani. So I believe INEC should take its time in deciding who wins that election. They should not leave any stone unturned. Well, the resident electoral commissioner misbehaved, was unprofessional in his conduct. But I want to believe that there is something about this thing that we are not looking at passionately or dispassionately. You know, I believe the nanny actually won that election.
Right.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much for your contribution, Mr. Victor. Just before we take the rest of the reactions, it seems like we skipped this in our conversation, and it's only appropriate that this time we bring it to the fore. Adamawa is the hometown to the PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar.
Yes.
How much of this is an influence in the ongoings in Adamawa State?
Well, it is expected. You see, the home states of the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party in the last presidential election, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar. Of course, we should expect that his factor will come to play because that is his home state, and ordinarily one expects that that state shouldn't have gone to the opposition party, to the ruling party, which is the APC. However, we equally had rumor mingling that Binani is a close friend of the first lady in Nigeria. That is talking about Aisha Buhari. That is a rumor anyway, which has not been confirmed. So, these two factors, definitely came to play in the result of the election and what led to what is happening in Adamawa State now. Why the ruling party, we want to create an impression that Alhaji Atiku Abubakar is not popular in his home state, consequent upon which the APC want to take over that state at the state level from the PDP. However, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar too, we want to impress it on Nigerians and international community that I have home base here. This is my home state, and my home state will definitely vote for my party. So all these things we have played out, and that is why we have the problem we are having in that state now. It's like they say when two elephants fight, it is the ground that will suffer.
Right.
The electorate in that state now will definitely suffer, I mean, to some extent. Because if what Udu told Nigerians that Binani won that election is anything to go by, of course, it speaks volumes against the ruling party in that state, PDP. Of course, it will rub off the popularity of Alhaji Atiku Abubakar in his home state.
Right.
But if it is to the contrary, if the result is contrary, of course, there is what I can refer to as flexing of muscle now. Don't forget, I just told you earlier that the first lady, Aisha Buhari, is said to have been a very close friend of Binani. And definitely, she will want her friend to win that election. So a lot of things may have gone underground,
right,
that we may not be able to see, just like the last speaker alluded to.
Right.
Many things.
As this matter unfolds, we'll be sure to get more updates about this. But for now, let's check some of the messages that we have. This one says, "Good morning, Mr. Mekamua. Let's be fair enough to INEC. They conducted election at 36 states, and if they had challenged at one of the states, we should try to understand with them. Please, our analysis on this election should not be seen as having political influence. The international community we're shouting about has already appraised INEC as successful. We should stop speaking for international. After all, they have congratulated our elected leader. I know INEC and Adamawa people will survive this challenge." Issa Mohammed Ilorin. Well, that's what Issa Mohammed says. I don't want us to go more into that. This one says, "Good morning to you, presenter, and the guest. As far as I am concerned, the mode of analyzing issues in Nigeria is the basis of our problem. An official in INEC, and INEC disowned him. An official aired in INEC, and INEC disowned him. To me, I don't think we need to condemn the body as a whole. Okay, in universities where lecturers, professors are committing atrocities like sex for grade, why are we not condemning the university lecturers or blame the VCs for the offenses committed by the specific lecturers? Let's always blame the offenders, not the body, when it comes to government. INEC as a body has tried her best. We Nigerians need to change for better because it's still Nigerians that are occupying the offices. Desperation of Senator Binani has written another history for Nigerian politics." From Abdulwahid Okwoba. Well, we hear you. We'll get more reactions right after we're done with the next topic, but for now, we really need to move on. For time's sake.
Just a minute, please.
Right. In 30 seconds.
I mean, 30 seconds. We are not blaming INEC.
Right.
No. What we are saying is that the INEC body in Adamawa State is the person we are blaming. We are, of course, the international community has commended what INEC did during this year's election. So we are not condemning INEC at all.
Fantastic. Now, this administration is not new to demonstrations by workers' group, from education to economics, business, and the likes. Now, yesterday, aviation workers in the country embarked on a two-day working strike over unpaid welfare packages and the minimum wage. They advised travelers and stakeholders to make contingency plans in order to avoid missing their flights and appointments. Funds management at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, Abuja, issued the advisory in a statement yesterday in a response to a two-day strike by some aviation unions, which is said could disrupt scheduled flight operations. According to the authority, NAIA would be open for operations as usual. It, however, warned that passengers may experience disruptions in flight operations as a result of the planned strike action. Less than 4 hours after the declaration, the federal government urged the striking aviation workers to resume work, saying the requested adjustment of the minimum wage would be paid soon. In a statement, the spokesman for the Ministry of Aviation, Oluseyi Odutayo, expressed the ministry's displeasure at the industrial action embarked on by the workers, saying the ministry had made efforts to address their demands. Odutayo described the strike as unnecessary, stressing that it would increase the hardship by Nigerians as well as lead to economic losses. This demonstration happened so quickly, and yet the government responded so quickly. Unlike the case with other strikes by other worker groups. Any reason for this?
Well, the reason that I may adduce for this is that it is the elites, or let me say the upper class, that often travel by air. You and I, the paupers, doesn't have anything to do with flights, because in the first instance, even feed themselves is very problematic. Not to talk of, flight. We know the fare. The transport fare, the air fare. That is the transportation cost. Is not something that an average Nigerian will be able to afford. So the reason why government immediately reacted is born out of the fact that most of the government functionaries traveled by air, and they know that if they didn't address what the aviation union are demanding for, that may disrupt this thing, definitely it will have adverse effect on the effectiveness of the air transportation. So that is why they quickly, but even at that, yes, they have reacted to it by promising them that all what they are asking for will be done. But how soon? They say soon. How soon? Oftentimes, when government said, "Oh, we are going to address your problem soon," you now see a situation where that soon may not even come by in a week's time, month's time, at times years' time. Let me just allude to ASU, whatever. Yeah. So, but the major thing, majorly, why government reacted almost spontaneously is because it will affect its operation, adversely. Because most people that patronize all these airlines are government people, are the upper class people. It has nothing to do with the poor Nigerians, the poor masses.
Well, in a few weeks from now, there will be a change of government. What should be the goal of the incoming administration to address conflict with workers?
Well, I want to believe, I'm apolitical, but I don't belong to any political party. And in fact, I'm not interested in politics, so to speak. The president-elect, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has an Herculean task before him as the incoming president of Nigeria come May 29, 2023. What I feel the president-elect after his inauguration should do is to enter into a kind of dialogue with NSC, with the leadership of NSC, with a view to letting the NSC knows the precarious situation we find ourselves economically in this country. I don't believe increment in salary will bring anything positive to Nigerian economy. In fact, it will increase the hyperinflation that we have. So what I want to advise the president-elect to do on coming to office is to try as much as possible step up production. Like the grant given by World Bank, which is $800 million, ought to have been channeled towards creating, stepping up production, establishing industries wherein teamy youths will be engaged, so that the rate of unemployment, which is very high presently, will definitely come down. Ajakuta is still there. It has not been completed. Our refineries are also there. Nothing has been done. So instead of importing fuel now and then, if something is done positively to our refineries, definitely we will know that even the price of fuel, which has skyrocketed to 200 plus, will definitely come down. So president should be focused on how to address the challenges being faced by an average Nigerian. Because the reality, the fact of the matter is that an average Nigerian is suffering greatly.
Right.
Everybody knows that.
All right. Let's get your reactions for time's sake. We'll keep it short. Ensure we keep it under 30 seconds. Turn down the volume of your radio and make sure your conversations are as short as possible. 0913 655 6952. But let's start off with the messages that we have already. Someone says, good morning and kudos to you, sir. I'm saying it again. Until INEC is truly independent, we cannot achieve free, fair, and credible election. What do you expect when politicians are the ones appointing top INEC officials? Not even the top officials alone, but we've seen political parties and top politicians influencing ordinary ad hoc staff's recruitment. May God save us. This is Joseph from Ikorodu. This one says, I follow the Adamawa politics and I think what's happening is political pride. There was a fallout between Atiku and Fintiri during presidential campaign. The government noticed the influence of a particular religion which may affect his second term in office, and as a result is trying to manage the situation, which is seen as betrayal by his godfather but was later resolved. Why will a governor be moving around while the election is ongoing? This happened during the general election. I think the people of the state is tired of PDP, and that's why there's allegation and counter allegations. Kayode from Airport. Well, this one says, let me make this observation. When discussing an important topic as Adamawa Challenge, let's not base it on rumors but fact. That is international standards. Rumors may not be real. It will only cause more tension. Issa Mohammed from Ilorin. Well, all of our conversations today surrounding Adamawa has not been on rumors but actual facts on what is going on in Adamawa State. Thank you, though, for your observation. Well, this one says power obtained by force or force can't deliver equity and justice. It would only serve the interest of a few oppressors and push other citizens to poverty and insecurity. Doubtful mandate is a faulty foundation that can't serve humanity. In our climate today, doing the right and honorable thing is like swimming against the ocean's tide. Every trust has almost and possibly degraded. Nevertheless, very few citizens are still standing. Maybe because of them, the country is subsisting. Call a day from Asadam. Let's take a few calls just before we wrap up. 0913 655 6952 or 080 887 887. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, name and location.
My name is Yemi Asaja. I'm calling from Ilorin.
Morning, Mr. Yemi. Go on.
Yeah, I see every organization has bad eggs, but that is not enough to condemn the whole organization. Even in church and mosque, we have bad eggs. The fact that a single person has made a mistake does not mean the whole of INEC should be condemned. Although a guest of yours a couple of days ago said all Nigerians are criminals, just because we have some criminals in Nigeria, forgetting that he is also a Nigerian. I may be wrong. Again, most analysts are quick to pass judgment on Adamawa State election declaration. When things like this happen, we have to look at events deeply and before we take decisive steps to make our final judgment. Events in days to come will open more cans of worms. Your guest is somehow biased. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you so much for your observation. Well, that's the side of the show today. But before we go, I'd like you to respond to that. They say you're biased.
That is to the view of the last caller. I am not biased. Right. I'm saying what I know. I mean, what I feel is what is happening. So I'm not in any way biased. And before I withdraw cutting on this conversation, right, one of the reasons why we often have strike is because of the inequality in income, which I feel the incoming government should address. What do I mean by that? We hold the same academic qualification. By providence, you find yourself in oil company. You find yourself in CBN. I find myself in teaching job. Yet the income that will be paid to us will not be the same thing. Yet we go to the same market and we buy the same thing. I feel that is one of the main reasons why unions normally go for strike. There should be equality in income. Because the government, of course, should know we buy the same thing. People work in the CBN, people work in the oil company, and people work in banks. All of us, we go to the same market with the people who are teachers, even at the grassroots. So if these things is addressed adequately, the problem of a strike will be a thing of the past.
Right, thank you so much, sir, for your contribution. This is where we draw the curtains on the conversation today. That's Sides of the Package and the Diamond Breakfast Show production of the News and Current Affairs Department. A big thank you to our guest for honoring our invitation today. Thank you so much, sir, for doing this with us. My name is Mekamua. Osigbodi. Right after now is the news in our native dialect, and after that is a Bawadasi with Ishola. Join Bisola tomorrow on the Diamond Breakfast Show, same time, 9 till 10. Be sure to stay logged on your shining supreme station, Diamond 88.7 FM. Also, a big thank you to everyone working behind the scene. Thank you for making this work. We really appreciate you. Stay tuned and have a very fantastic day.
Diamond FM, radio made for you.
But remember, there's only one race, and that's the human race, okay? Oh.